Welcome. I hope 2022 treated you well. This is my first outdoor shave video of 2023. I'm back upon the banks of the McKenzie River, a river that, if you've been watching my content, you've seen before. And there is some B-roll at the end of this video of my setup and of my previous location, not far from where I'm standing. Beautiful day for a hike, beautiful day to be out on this river. And today I have the opportunity to share with you a soap set that I received as a gift. I did not pay for the soap set. Everything else that I'm using today I did pay for, but the soap and the splash was a gift from Doug, Francis, and Huxley at Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. And that soap set is champagne. Talk about a holiday banger. This is some good stuff, Maynard. Can't wait to share it with you. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get my shave on. All right, how are you? I'm truly freaking fabulous. Let's talk about my gear real quick. My gear. Captain America. Scoop. If you've been following my content, you might know a thing or two about how I feel about pre-shaves. And if not, you're just going to have to watch some of my previous content. I have with me today, and I've already applied it, Tube 2.0. Champagne, probably this should be my 6th or 7th use of it. I did have a sample of the splash way back whenever they first started coming out. I'm a scooper. I'm scooping from my left, your right. So good. When I first saw that champagne was coming out, I was like, I'm not a champagne drinker, so put that out there. I don't know that I've ever actually drank champagne. I've tried champagne. This past New Year's, I had sparkling apple cider. I think that's what you call it, right? Kids always drink it. That's as close as I ever get to actually drinking champagne. Simpson T3 Trafalgar. Oh, I'm going to show you my bowl. Phoenix shaving lather lid. I put my scoop in my brush. So, how you doing? I know I already asked, but thought I'd ask again. I'm doing great. Did I say that? I think I did. Champagne. Man. It's amazing. And we're still waiting for thought forms. And I haven't asked Douglas why we haven't received that yet, because the original literature that he sent out about it, it said coming this fall. And now that I brought it up, I should probably ask him after I record this video, and then I'll put it somewhere on here, the answer I get. I know they've been super busy. 2022 was their 10th anniversary, and in case you didn't notice, we celebrated with a bunch of old school favorites that came back. Two of my old school favorites that came back that I had never tried would definitely have to be Rustler's Ridge and Tokyo Rose. Had the opportunity to do a review of Tokyo Rose. Still love it. I had the EDP, the solid, everything but the Dio, really. We had some new fragrances that came out too. And when it comes to new fragrances that are my favorite, that if I had to pick one new fragrance that came out in 2022, that was my favorite, it'd probably have to be Shave Chaser. One, sentimentally, because it was the first soap set that Douglas ever sent me for review. Using my Mühle R96. I've been using it probably the last 10 days straight or so, getting to know this guy. Today I'll be using my first ever Lord blade in it. It's a first use, super stainless. It's not the classic. The classic comes in the green. This is the super. I'm loving this razor. I like these blades. I'm expecting to get a damn fine shave. I am standing on a moss-covered rock. If I take a big step backwards, I'll be in about a foot of cold water. This river never warms up. It's always about 38 to 40 degrees if you're lucky, 42 degrees if you're really lucky, and the water's super shallow. Champagne. 2014, they released, I got my mirrors. In 2014, they released the red and the blonde champagnes. This here that came back is the red. I had never tried it until Douglas brought it back. So my first actual experience with it was the sample, little vial sample that he sent out with orders. I forget when I got mine, probably about the same time that you got yours if you got one. So that was my first experience with it. They came, so in 2014 they both came out. They came and they went a couple of times. They'd come back for New Year's, and then he did that for a couple of years. They'd come, they'd go away, and then they'd come back, much like the other seasonals and like First Night. And First Night did not come back this year, and that's because they did champagne, the red. I've spoken with Douglas, because he actually sent me a set of First Night as well, and it kind of confused me. Thank you again, Doug, Fran, and Hux. I appreciate you guys. First Night is not being released this year, but it will be back next year. So that being said, and while I'm thinking about it, if you're intrigued at all by champagne, you should grab it. I haven't asked Douglas, but since he said that First Night's coming back next year, unless there's a huge demand for champagne, I don't see it coming back next year. I think it'd be kind of fun if you started like an alternating rotation. So, you know, this year First Night, next year this year champagne, next year First Night, and so on. Just keep piggybacking or leapfrogging. Oh, woohoo! I haven't been drinking. Just on a mossy covered rock. If I didn't already say, I know I said. See my shirt? I'm wearing my We Shave shirt again. Today it's not We Shave, it's I Shave. Are you shaving with me? If someone's shaving with me, then it's We Shave, right? Looking in the mirror, I want to kind of like lean into it. Ramble. Save the rambles for Rambles, Rants, and Razors. I got a good one coming about badger brushes. So the blonde went away. The red transformed, if you will, into the Kiss. And I'll put a photo right up here of it. I really love the label on that one. The colors, everything about it, it just pops. So it became the Kiss. If you don't know who Con is, C-O-N. Con is in Australia, and Con is a friend of Doug's, and they go back years. And Con has a store in Australia and a YouTube channel. I'll put links in the description so that you guys can check out Con. show him some love. He's good people. Damn good people. Called the Stray Whisker. I love that name, the Stray Whisker. So the Kiss, aka Champagne Red, the Kiss, for years you could only get from Australia by purchasing it from the Stray Whisker. But Doug bringing back all these different fragrances and stuff for 2022 as kind of a send-off for all the amazing fragrances. I'm gonna put a little bit more water here in my bowl for rinsing. But Doug thought that it would be a fitting end to make the red, the Kiss. I'm just gonna call it the Kiss, I think, moving forward from here in this video. He thought that it'd be fitting to bring the Kiss back so that more people could try it. Like, I never bothered getting my hands on it. I don't know why. I knew about it, and there's other ones out there. Albion of the North, that's one that a top of the chain exclusive that I've wanted to buy, and I still haven't. I've heard great things about it, and it sounds delicious, and I do like the artwork on the label. I know I'm rambling now, right? So he brought it back as a way to wrap up the 10th anniversary for Phoenix Artisan. And I think it's like perfect, right? I mean, it really is a perfect send-off, if you will, for the 10th anniversary. And the way that Doug and Fran presented the entire year of the 10th anniversary, I think it just all culminated into, like, it was just amazing. I don't know if you are a fan of Phoenix shaving, I think you can relate to what I'm saying, that just how cool 2022 really was for us fanboys. And again, I'll say it, I'm not ashamed of juvenile terms or whatever people want to call me. I love PAA. I'm a huge fan of what they do, and I consider Douglas a friend. So at least for me and other fanboys, I know that 2022 was super freaking cool. And you know, I first started using PAA in 2014, same year that this soap came out. But I didn't try the Kiss. I didn't try red. It was the red at the time. I was just getting into it. PAA, I mean, by getting into it. The scent notes. Wild bergamot. We'll talk about that in a minute. Wild bergamot. Virginia tobacco flower. So not pipe tobacco, but the flower. White rose. Lily of the valley. White musk. Sandalwood. Rockrose, patchouli, and tobacco absolute. And absolute is a highly concentrated fragrance oil, I guess you'd call it. Think of an extract, but it's like the creme de la creme, and absolute is very, very potent, extreme concentrate. This is the best way I could put it, standing on this rock here trying to maintain my balance. Give me a second here, guys. 2 seconds. Re-wetted my bowl, re-wetted my brush and face right here. Getting a little dry on me. If I had to describe the fragrance of champagne in just a couple of words, it would be fresh, masculine, but a soft masculine. So wild bergamot. I'll put a picture right here. Something I learned doing my research for this video is there's 3 types of bergamot. There's the citrus, which is technically an orange that we're all familiar with. And I'll put a picture of these things up here in the corner somewhere. So there's the citrus, there's a pear, and then there's wild bergamot, which would technically be a mint, and it's also known as bee balm. Like I just said a second ago, it's a mint. I've never actually experienced the oil, and I've never experienced the plant either. It is native to North America, so I know I could probably find it somewhere. Add a little bit more water, squirt. Wild bergamot is described as spicy, a spicy scent that is minty, floral, with hints of spice and citrus. And so where the name wild bergamot came from was it reminded the early colonists of the citrus bergamot that was found, you know, back in Europe. So that's where the bergamot term came from, is that it reminded them of it, and that's because there's some citrus tones to it along with the mint and the spice. Tobacco flower. Oh, I love tobacco flower. I don't know how many tobacco flowers you guys may have tried. One of my straight up favorite tobacco flowers is from Moon Soaps. Doug's made a few good ones. I love tobacco fragrances. I really wish he'd bring Dixie back so that more people could try it. I love Dixie. I'd really love to have a star jelly of it and an EDP. I just have the soap set. Virginia tobacco flower. The tobacco flower itself can be described as slightly sweet with like a jasmine type fragrance to it. Rich, masculine, earthy aroma. There's no smoke, there's no, cigarette tobacco smell to it at all. It's a full-on flower. Pictures again right up there. That reminds a lot of people of jasmine. It has a jasmine-ish, a jasmine-esque nuance to it. White rose. Something that's super cool about roses. And back before we started doing, a whole bunch of hybrid variations for color, because for years they were trying to make roses as big and as beautiful, as colorful as they possibly could, but through all that genetic mutilation, we lost some of the fragrances. But if we go back to the natural, original fragrances of rose, what we'll find is the darker the rose, the more fragrant it is. So a red rose, especially the dark red roses, would have more fragrance than a white or a yellow. Something else that contributes to that real quickly is the number of petals and the thickness of the petals. That's where the scent actually comes from, is from the petal itself. Lily of the Valley. Lily of the Valley goes by a bunch of different names. Here in America, it's most commonly called Lily of the Valley. A lot of times you'll also see it as, Mugit or something like that. Lily of the Valley is fresh, light, crisp, and green. And that's some of the notes that you'll get off of this fragrance. And to me, like I said, I haven't experienced champagne a whole lot, but it does have a champagne fragrance to it. It really does, and it's amazing. I'm not a champagne guy. So then we have white musk. White musk is like a musk, but it's fresher, it's crisper, it's not as intense, it's not as dark white, right? Somewhere I read once, and I've never tried the essential oil or fragrance oil of it, but like fresh laundry. So it's, you know, so think musk, but tamed down. Sandalwood, I know a lot of us are familiar with sandalwood. And then we have rockrose. Rockrose is herbaceous, slightly sweet, with hints of fruit and honey. And I think that's where some of this sweet fruitiness is definitely coming from at the tail end of this fragrance, like the heart and into the base notes. A couple of quick cleanups. I really like this R96. If you've the Roccas from Mühle, if you've tried a DE89 or an R89, it shaves a lot like those, but slightly more aggressive. And Steve Boyd was asking me in a comment the other day about blade feel, and so I did a side-by-side comparison. Same blades. I had an R89 on my right side and my R96, the Rocca, on the left side. Blade feel was about the same. It really was. I couldn't tell any real difference in blade feel, like the, you know, but it was slightly more aggressive. It did cut closer to the skin. It was more efficient. My trouble spots. Patchouli is earthy. My wife says that patchouli is intoxicating. And then we run into tobacco absolute. And tobacco absolute can carry with it a leathery, smoky, hay type vibe to it. Overall, this fragrance, like I was saying I think a second ago, I get this champagne type fragrance from it. I think it's very fair to say that this does smell like champagne. And again, my experiences with champagne is not a lot, very little. But it starts off light and crisp, slightly minty. It's really hard to describe this one because it's super duper complex. And don't let the idea of champagne turn you off either, because I did. I think that's one of the things I started to say at the beginning of the video, was when I first saw the name, I'd forgotten all about the kiss. I'd had forgotten all about there was ever a red or a blonde. So when I first saw champagne, I thought, huh. But then, in typical Doug and Fran fashion, they take something that you might think wouldn't be wearable and made it wearable. They made it a freaking badass banger. The wife and the daughter love this one. I have First Night on my right hand, and I have Champagne on my left hand. I'm wearing Fucking Fabulous from Tom Ford here, so I'm kind of like using that as like my coffee bean. You know, like reset the smells. There's a word for that, I can't think of it. Fresh and masculine on the sales page, but like I said, soft. It's not a strong masculine. Does that make sense? On the sales page, Doug uses whimsical, and I could definitely see that word being applied in reference to this fragrance. I highly recommend this fragrance, and again, it's definitely worth, in my opinion, picking up. There's nothing else like it. If you're at all tempted, you should at the very least grab a $1 sample. If you're in the States, I'll happily mail you a little sample of the soap. Let's put it in an envelope in between some wax paper or something and mail it to you. I think it should be in every den though. I really do. It's so different than anything else on the market. And I'll say it again. It's fresh and masculine, crisp, green. It's fan-freaking-tastic. And you can see I've been using it a lot. This is a fragrance that can be worn throughout the year. It's not just a New Year's or a holiday fragrance. It's definitely a summer fragrance. Spring. Like I said, it's fresh, crisp, and green. This is a perfect summer fragrance. And while I said, you know, it reminds me of the smell of champagne, I doubt that it actually smells very much like champagne, but it does remind me of what I remember champagne smelling like, if that makes sense. So I think it's one though that everyone should experience if they haven't already experienced. And I'm not an affiliate. I won't profit from your purchase. So I'm not saying that to make money. You can go buy a We Shave shirt. I'll make a couple of bucks. But if you go buy this, I won't make anything. Not a dime. Champagne. Typical PAA fashion. Something different, damn straight. Damn skippy, hippie. It's something different. A banger? Yep. It's good stuff, Maynard. I want to again thank Douglas, Fran, and Hux for sending this to me as a gift for review. I'm looking forward to the next 10 years. I can't believe it's 2023. I want to wish you a Happy New Year again. I want to thank you for being with me. And again, here for a little while, I think I'm going to steal Doug's quote, his mantra. It's only shaving. And that's because I've seen some drama lately in the community. It's only shaving. Let's focus on what we have in common. If I can stand on my soapbox for a minute, turn this rock into a soapbox. I think too often in society and in culture, and it's not just us in these modern times, if you look at history, it's something that's definitely gone on a lot. All too often, we focus on the things that make us different. We focus on the things that separate us from one another. And in doing so, that divides us. As a community, as a shave community, what we need to be doing is focusing on the things that unite us. And we need to learn to agree to disagree and do so civilly, like mature adults. It's the little big things and some of the biggest little things is focusing on what's good and not focusing on what's negative. It's so damn easy to be negative. It's so damn easy to look at people's faults and at people's failures. It takes real effort. It takes real character, strength of character to focus on the positive. So, you can hate me. You can sit there and be like, dude, your beard's too gray. I don't care. I think you're beautiful. I love you. I'm going to love you a long time. I'm going to love you all the way through 2023. 24 gets here. I'm still going to be loving on you. I'm going to love you a long time. Damn fine shave. Take care of yourself. It's only shaving. No, wait. Bye. No, seriously. See you later. See that river? Take care. Welcome to my B-roll. I haven't shaved yet, but I wanted to show you where I shaved from last time I was here in early November with Continental. That big rock was my backdrop. I was literally standing down in this hole. The water flows through from there. It's just a bunch of big river rock. I had my camera hanging from this branch here, and I'll try and attach the footage of this spot back in November to the end of this B-roll so that you can see. It's pretty crazy. I was actually just watching it. So the last time I was here, let's zoom in. That big rock right there in the center was right behind me. Sorry, I'll slow down. Today, I'm set up here. I'll be standing on this rock right here. Got my table, my mirror, my tripod, and then my newest mirror. So I've had these two for about, I've had two of these for about a year now that I got off of Amazon. I just picked up this one from a local, I guess, it's not quite a hardware store, but it's, I don't know what you call it. It's a mom and pop. It's not quite a retail store. It's not quite a department store. It's a local store that we all love. If you're really interested, you can Google it. It's called Bimart, B-I-M-A-R-T. But picked it up for like $6 or something like that. And I was looking for more of a variety of ways of being able to hang up my mirrors and stuff. When I did my shave with Christmas cookies, it was the second time that I had trouble devising a way to hang my mirrors. And so on that shave, I didn't even hang a mirror. I just looked into the phone and used the screen from it. So, you know, I've been using the zip ties that I leave mounted on my mirrors, and then I've also used bungee cords like I'm using today. I have a variety of bungee cords that I carry with me, but even on that Christmas cookie one, it was still just the way the tree was. It just wasn't a good setup. I'm really thinking that this guy is going to definitely offer me some more versatility. It's built rugged, and I feel like I'm going to be able to get some more opportunities to hang a mirror. Yeah. Winter storms, early spring, the river does rage all the way up here, which is why very little grows. My setup